what is the appropriate way to run a specialty class, whether that is a HYROX class, a gymnastics class, a lifting class? How do you do it?
Yeah, so we use a program called block training, right? Very, very simple concept. All we're going to do is take the general idea of a challenge, right? A 6-week, a 10-week, whatever you need challenge. We're going to upgrade it a bit. We're going to dial it in a little bit, especially when it comes to results and value, because that's what people are going to pay for. And then once we've got this framework down, we can apply it to anything. We can apply it to HYROX, and then once the HYROX event disappears, we don't need to run that anymore. We go, oh, in 6 months' time, there's a marathon. Let's apply it to that. Because again, I know retention, a bunch of my members want to do a marathon. Acquisition, a bunch of people out there don't want to do CrossFit, but they do want to do their first marathon. Profits, I can charge good for it because people are willing to pay to have a positive experience. If you say, hey, you can run your first marathon and just wing it, or you can run your first marathon and know that you've got the capacity, that you've got the skill set, that you've got the nutrition, that you've got a community to do it with you, but it's going to cost you a couple of $100 more. Well, yeah, they've already spent $300 on their shoes and $200 on the ticket to get into the marathon. Everything, right? It's expensive. So no matter what the specialty is, we can apply this same block training method to all of it, right? And it's super, super simple, right? Annoyingly simple. We start with an event, right? And this is an educational event, usually just a 4-hour workshop, right? If it was something like HYROX, then I'd get the local HYROX expert to come in and give us just a real quick breakdown of here's what you need to know about HYROX, right? Here's everything I can teach you in the next 4 hours, as well as kind of triggering the start of the program proper. So you'll go through whether it's the technique or whether it's cycling or whether it's the nutrition on the day. Everything that you're going to cover is going to be condensed into that first 4 hours, right? Ideally get someone external from your gym to run this, purely because it brings more value, more perceived value, right? I used to joke that if we're doing this for weightlifting, get someone external, and if they have a Russian accent, people will pay more, right? It's just the way it is, right? People will pay more if it's an external coach than if it's one of you or your coaches, right? So we start off with the event, right? Then we schedule out usually 2 classes a week, right? These are going to be the in-the-box classes. The cool thing about this is you're saying, but Ty, you just said don't run classes, right? These are temporary, they're finite. After the 6 weeks or 8 weeks or 10 weeks, they're gone, right? The good news about that is, you know, if you're running classes, your last class is 6:30 to 7:30. You tried a 7:30 to 8:30 and no one wanted it because as a weekly commitment, every single week ongoing, it's just a crappy time for most people. But if I say, well, it's not ongoing, can you commit to the 6:30 time slot just for the next 6 weeks? And the purpose of it is so that you can do your first HYROX marathon, whatever the hell it is, you know, better, more confidently. People are willing to do that. It's like committing to a night school to learn a skill. It's not forever. I'll just suck it up for the next 6 weeks. So then you map out how long do I need, let's just say 6 weeks, and I'm going to run my 2 classes a week. I'm going to program out those classes. Now, really important here, I program those classes to work alongside my CrossFit classes, not to replace my CrossFit classes. We tell everybody at the start that this programming is designed to accompany the CrossFit programming. What I don't want is a bunch of my members doing the block training and stopping their CrossFit training as they go.
Yep.
You know, now you've got a bunch of people who not only are they not going to get the best results they can because they've stopped the CrossFit, but they've also completely got distracted. And at the end of it, they're going, hey, my life's actually pretty good without CrossFit in it. Maybe it is time to move on to try something else. Yep. So the programming is designed to be additional to, I usually say 2 classes a week. So 2 CrossFit classes and then 2 of our specialty classes for the block training, right? We map those out across the 6 weeks. So we've got 12 of those. Then every week, and this is where the upgrading in the value proposition is important so that they'll pay as much as possible and they'll get best results and they'll commit to it long term. We do an external workout. This doesn't involve us. It's something that they're going to do at home or they're going to do outside of the gym, right? So if it was, you know, something like weightlifting, it might be a mobility workout that they're going to do at home by themselves. If it's HYROX, then it's most likely going to be, that's going to be their run day. So every Saturday, you know, people get together for their little run club, and this is the workout that they're going to do on that day, right? But whatever it is, it's a third workout of the week, but you don't have to do anything. You're not running it. So in terms of it adds value, but it doesn't add cost for you, right? So now we've got 3 classes a week over the 6 weeks. At the end, and this is incredibly important, I see people when they do challenges, they miss the last part of this, right? Especially if you do something like a look good naked challenge or a lifestyle, health, eating, sleep, breathing, all that stuff type challenge. You've got to have an event at the end. It has to build and build and build to something that they can sink their teeth into and go, yes, that is what I paid for. The good news with HYROX and Spartan races and marathons and all this stuff is it's done for us. We don't have to worry about it. If you do weightlifting or gymnastics or mobility or kettlebell or any of the kind of more old school approaches to specialty classes, you're going to have to run that event yourself. So if you want to do that, do it, do a good job. People need to enjoy it. But for HYROX, as today's example, it all leads up to the event itself. And a lot of these events, you can sign up as a gym. You can get discounts if you bulk register people, which means that they can pay you for the program, and that program includes their ticket, right? Now you're taking as much of the work and concern and doubt away from them as humanly possible, right? And then that's it. That's the program. That's the block training, right?
I love it.
To value add, we're going to do a couple of things. Depending on the program, there's a few other options, but the basics every single time, we're going to add a booklet. All right, so this can be as simple as just a training journal that's got a couple of tips built into it. Jump into ChatGPT, say, build me a training diary for HYROX, Spartan race, whatever. It'll spit it out for you, throw it into Canva, you're good to go. And the most important one, swag, right? Yep. You've got to have a t-shirt, you've got to have merch. You want everybody running that HYROX or marathon all in the same gear representing. And people, they want it. They want shirts.
Yeah, 100%. I love it. I think one thing I learned with the block training as well is you can actually open it up to people that aren't members at your gym. So you actually end up getting people in that want to, learn how to do HYROX or gymnastics or Olympic weightlifting. They fall in love with the community, with your facility, with the culture you've built. And then once that block training is done, they sign up as members and you grow your gym that way as well. So
100%.
It's a great way to kind of involve other people outside of the gym.
Yeah, and it doesn't happen by accident. That's the third part of our triangle. Second part of our triangle is acquisitions, right? If I can do one of those three, it's an okay idea. Two of those three, it's a good idea. All three, I'm probably not a winner, right? The cool thing about all of these external events is they already exist. They have done the work to build a following. So I can either just put out a post saying we're running a HYROX prep course. This is what it is, and people are willing to pay for it for a better experience of their first time. And then during the program, at the very last class, you say, all right, this is it, guys. You did it. You're amazing. You guys are so much, your skill and your capacity, everything is better. You are ready. And to those of you who have just joined us, I do have a bit of a confession. I know we're training for HYROX, marathon, whatever. You've actually been doing CrossFit this whole time, right? You are one of us. Welcome to the community, whether you like it or not. And then I've got a sequence in place to upsell them before they ever do the event, right? They should be a member before they ever do the event, right? You've done all the selling through community and coaching. The other cool thing is if I want to market this, and a lot of the time you don't need to market this too powerfully, right? The people are already out there. They already follow you. They're on the fence. They're CrossFit curious. All it takes is, hey, we're doing a HYROX prep course, a marathon prep course, and that pushes them over the line. But if you do want to do paid advertising, HYROX is already an interest in meta ads. So are marathons. So is the specific marathon in your city. Facebook, Meta, Instagram, they already have all of this data on who is interested in these kind of events. So you just put your ads together and say, hey, put this to these people, make sure it goes to a good landing page where they can get all the information they want, sign up easily. And now you've got a bunch of new people. So if you run this properly, your members are going to have a great time, right? They're going to express their fitness externally. You're going to get a bunch of new members from outside of the gym who never would have joined before, but because you've found the gap, you stopped trying to sell CrossFit. Stop selling CrossFit. People who want CrossFit are already doing CrossFit, right? Sell what they care about, right? You've sold that. You've got a bunch of new people through the door. And by a bunch, I mean, if you do this properly, a bunch, right? More than a lot of gyms could handle in one go. And you've added so much value from their perspective that you can charge $400, $500, $600 for this. And maybe your members get it for $200, $300 as a discount. And you're making a bunch of money, enough that you don't have to do this as the owner. You can handball this off to your coaches give them a 40-60 split. Now they're making a bunch of money. You're making a bunch of money. You've got new members. You've got better retention. Pop the champagne. Have a good time.
Yeah, I love that you can involve your coaches in this, and actually they can make more money than they would coaching a regular class to gym. Because this is a specialty class, let's say, for example, they're teaching Olympic lifting, it is a specialty skill, I guess. And so you can actually, like you said, you can give them 60% of the, of the profits for that hour, or just pay them a high hourly rate. So they can actually benefit from it as well as your gym. I love it, man. I love it. And I think with something like HYROX, you can kind of up the volume and participants as well. Like Olympic lifting is a pretty high skill thing to teach. You probably want to limit that to 10 people in the class, 8 people in the class. Whereas with HYROX, you can probably open it to 20 people or 30 people. And because it's low skill, you can manage that, So,
and the cool news, so we had this once when we did was it Spartan Race? I think it was Spartan Race prep course. We set it up 2 nights a week, add on exactly as I just explained, and it sold out super quick, mostly with just our members. And we went, well, that's great that it sold out, but we also, the fact that it sold out means that there's demand, but we also would love to get some people externally. So, if those classes were, say, Monday and Wednesday nights at 6:30 to 7, we just added a Tuesday and Thursday night and did a whole other course. So now you've got, let's say we cap it at 20 people. We've got 2 courses of 20 people running side by side. On the day, you've got 40 people coming together. So yeah, you'd be surprised at number one, if you plan and market these properly, you'll be surprised at how many of your members and non-members you can get in. And secondly, you will be blown away. If you've just got the balls to add the right value and charge what it's worth, you'll be blown away at how much money you can make. And then as soon as that block training's over, if you enjoyed it, members enjoyed it, got other people in who joined, your coaches had a good time, made money, if it's a positive experience, you go again. You take the same framework and apply it to the marathon that's coming up, the Spartan race. As you said, you got to be a little bit careful. There's not as big a return on investment with things like weightlifting and gymnastics because they are higher skill movements. You will get people who are kind of CrossFitters without knowing they're CrossFitters out there, right? They're doing CrossFit in the local gym and they want to touch up on their weightlifting. They're not quite as easy a sell as someone who wants to do HYROX or marathons, but you can absolutely do it. You just have to run the event yourself. So, I started doing this block training in, 2011, 2012, something like that. We've had hundreds of boxers do it, and it's every single time has just been beautiful. And you do it once, it's a bit of a pain in the ass. You kind of find your feet a little bit. But then once you've got that framework down, copy and pasting that to something else is easy. And then next year, when HYROX comes back, you just dust it off, pull it out of the Google Drive, it's ready to go. Marathon, dust it off, ready to go. You don't have to reinvent the wheel every year.
So good. I love it.